What's up guys, Roland Customs here, and today we're going to take a look at the Build-A-Figure for Thanos from the Marvel Legends Thanos Build-A-Figure series. Finally excited and happy to get this whole wave. Great figures, as you can see right here, these are the 5 figures I bought to build Thanos. Over here you have Spider-Woman. There is a variant of Hellcat you could get. I did not get Hellcat though because I didn't think she was necessary for my collection, but Spider-Woman is a great looking figure. Definitely the best looking in my opinion of the whole bunch. Over here you have basically 2 repaints of Captain America and Iron Man. Maybe has different accessories, but still great figures. I do like him a lot. Hulk over here is an awesome figure. I'm surprised at how great he looks in person as well. I definitely was really surprised by it. And over here you have Bat-Rock, which is whatever. But these are the figures I bought. I will either have reviews of them before this or after, according to how I upload, so stay tuned for those. But this is all about Thanos. So these are the figures and what pieces they come with, as you can see. And let's get this guy built. Alright, let's get this guy built. Right here we have the base body. It comes with 2 pieces. This is like the shoulder pads, you want to call it that. I'm not really sure you want to call it. We're going to take it off for now. Then we're going to take the arms over here, just like that. And we're actually going to put the arms in first. Let's get those in. Alright, so nice click. There's the next one. Not a great click too. Alright, there you go. And now we're going to put this on and then the head. There you go. No. Almost done. Now for the legs. Make sure you have the right legs. Okay. For the second leg. Alright, there you go. It's pretty easy. Thanos. Guys, so here is Thanos. We're all built together. Now I'm going to say straight off the bat, I love how this guy looks. I'm a huge fan of Avengers Assemble, the cartoon. I read all the comic books up to date right now, and I love how he looks like in the movie. And this is how Thanos looks like now. Comics, movies, cartoons, everything. This is how he looks like now. Alright, video edits. Before you guys butcher me in the comments, I'm going to take back my statement. He does not look like this in the movies, but he does look like this in the comic books and also the cartoon series. So you could definitely say, if you want to say there's a influence in the movie version of him, he definitely is not as robust and big. He's a little bit slimmer, a little bit more modern looking, so there is definitely some kind of influence there, but he does not look like this in the movies. I know a lot of people like to compare this one to the old Marvel Select one, or how Thanos used to look like, but you know what? That's not how Thanos looks like anymore. This is Thanos now, and I'm really satisfied and happy with the size too. I think it's more realistic. You know, he's a lot bigger than everyone else. He might not be bigger than the Hulk, but you know, according to the comics and also even the movie, he might not even be bigger than the Hulk. So this is how Thanos is. And I think they did a great job overall. He looks good. I know people like him to be a little bit bigger and more humongous, but you know, that's Marvel Select. You know, people are collecting Marvel Select, they have to compare it to Marvel Select, not comparing it to Marvel Legends. So this is a great scale and size in my opinion. I like it a lot. Other than that, let's get into all the details. Alright, so here is Thanos up close. We'll go straight down the body really quickly to take a look at it. It looks pretty good. The blue is a shiny blue. Most places of the body is pretty glossy. Some isn't as glossy, but I guess you go in a range of glossy overall, but it looks nice. The gold over the rest of the body looks pretty nice. Not extremely shiny, but they did a pretty good job. Some parts are a little bit duller than the others, but overall it's a nice contrast in colors. There is some QC problems, you want to call it that, even right here, as you can see, Hasbro, but like I said, we are used to it, sadly. Looking at the face, I like the face. You know, a lot of people might complain about the face, but it doesn't look that bad. Here's a nice closer look at it. You know, it's decent, you know, nice shading in it. The sculpt looks pretty good. The teeth look pretty nice too. The eyes are okay. You know, could be a little bit better. This one isn't as colored as this one for mine. I might have to do that myself. But like I said, overall, it looks decent. So let's talk about one negative about this figure. It's probably going to be right here. If you want to call it the shoulder pads, we'll call them the shoulder pads to make it easier. You know, they're pegged in into the shoulders underneath, but they're not that stationary, so sometimes they might lift up a little bit. You have to make sure you bring them down all the way, especially when you bring up the arms. They might get in the way too. they might ride up like that. So that's the only drawback to this figure in my opinion. Other than that, when it comes to design wise, I think everything else is fine. The shoulder, the wrist gauntlets, the waist gauntlet over here, it's fine, no problems there at all. And other than articulation, what we'll get into later, this figure is pretty good to me. Getting into articulation really quickly, it's a ball jointed head on a hinge. It goes up pretty good. Doesn't go down that far, but it's pretty decent. And it goes left and right over there. Shoulder joint on a hinge that rotates, that goes up pretty good. Goes in and out nicely, no problems there. Bicep swivel. One point at the elbow, which isn't the greatest, but it's pretty decent. Over here at the wrist, hinge and a swivel, so that's nice too. At the ab joint, people say it could be a little bit better. There might be a little problem here. So it doesn't go far back at all, really. Going forward, it does crunch a little bit, but there isn't really a like clicking. It just goes. So people might not like that. At least we have something, so it's okay, I guess. I don't really mind it. I'm always down for a little bit of ab joint and none at all. Going down to the waist swivel, of course. Now getting down to the hips could be a little bit of a problem. Sometimes you want to bring up the belt gauntlet to make it a little bit better. He has T-jointed hips, it seems like, maybe. So goes forward that much. Maybe over here is restricting it. I feel like it is. It could go a little bit higher, as you can see right there, but it doesn't go up that high. It doesn't go back that much. It doesn't go in and out that much either because it's pretty thick, his thighs. So a lot of people feel like that's a drawback. Sometimes, it could be. You just have to work with what you have, basically. Like I said before, I think it could go a little bit higher. The whole problem is because everyone wants to have him in a seating position because he's Thanos. And you want to have him on his throne. So having him in a decent sitting position is pretty important for a lot of people, especially me. Actually, I wanted to have him on a chair. So you're gonna have to work at it. Looks like it is the belt gauntlet over here, kind of restricting it, so you had to work around that, like I said. Thigh swivel over here, 2 points at the knee. Boot swivel at the ankle, has a hinge right there and a nice pivot at the ankles. So that's pretty decent articulation. Like I said, he has the articulation. Some of it is a little bit limited. Some of it is a little bit, not limited, but, being restricted from the clothing. So you just have to work around what you have. And it's decent, it could be worse. So I don't really mind it. You still could get him in decent poses overall. Alright, so let's talk about QC problems and quality control. So far, he isn't that bad. I don't really have a lot of QC problems in my opinion. When it comes to the whole body itself, the blue, fine, no problems there at all. When it comes to the accessories and the color of that, everything looks pretty good to me, no problems there. The only real problems you could probably look at is the paint on the body itself, like the little details, like over here in the chest. The gold could be a little bit better. It looks like they put only one coat on and a big coat of paint, so it bleeded into the seams but didn't go all the way onto the top layer, if you know what I'm talking about. So that could have been a little bit better. Going down, the silver looks fine to me. I had no real problems with the silver painting and the details there. It looks fine to me overall. So that's pretty much it really when it comes to QC problems. People might want to address the head as well, saying that could be some QC problems there. But his face is pretty ugly, so that's how it's supposed to look like. So you could kind of get away with that. The only problem for my figure maybe is the eye over here. Maybe a little bit more paint. I could easily do that myself with some clear blue. And that's pretty much it though. Taking a look at the back, it looks pretty good as well. This part over here, it's actually sculpted in, so that's pretty nice. So like I said, no problems there. Alright, so right now we are going to get into size comparisons and figure comparisons. So right here, we have Darkseid and we have Thanos. There's a lot of different Darkseid figures. There's one that has the old look of him from the DC Superheroes wave. There's also another version of this that's like a foot tall. But we are going to focus on new Thanos, new Darkseid 6-inch wave, and the new look. So it's a nice comparison to have between them two. Maybe the old DC Superheroes Thanos might be a better fit with this one because he's a little bit taller. But we're just going with these two because these are the new looks for these specific characters. So if anyone wanted to see how they look like compared side by side, there you go. And I don't think it's that bad, even though he is a little bit bigger. No one really knows how big they are side by side. Obviously, in the cartoon, they made Thanos, Darkseid, huge. I'm like literally like a big giant like 20-foot person, which is kind of weird. But in the comic books, he's not that big, but he definitely is bigger. So you know, you got what you have. But I like 6-inch figures, so there you go. For another size comparison, here is Thanos of the Avengers movie figures. As you can see, you know, he could kind of pass as a nice movie figure, a little bit more on the comic side, but definitely passable. But here's a nice size comparison if you want to see that. And here's Thanos of the other figures from the Build-A-Figure line. Here we have Thanos of the more space-based Marvel Legend figures, including the Guardians of the Galaxy, Nova, and of course Gladiator. And here he is with some of my personal favorite figures right here. Alright, in conclusion, is this figure worth buying the whole wave? And in my opinion, it definitely is. Not even including him, you could put him to the side. You have a nice updated Hulk figure, which is great. Updated Captain America. A nice Iron Man figure, which you could probably use for anything, movie or comic wise. You have a nice Spider-Woman figure right there. And of course, now you bring in Thanos, which in my opinion is a great figure. Like I said before, I don't collect 7-inch or Marvel Select figures, so I'm not even comparing him to those. You have to compare him with the rest of these 6-inch figures, and I think he's great. Honestly, he's updated look, cartoon, comic, looks nice, good articulation, good scopes in the face, and he looks very menacing, which is awesome. So that's about it, guys. I think you should definitely get it if you can. And that's about it. So thanks for watching. Like always, comment, criticize, subscribe, do whatever you want to pay attention. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Go to wildandcustoms.com. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Peace.